custom Freemotion quilt templates made with our Brother ScanNCut? Yes, today we are cutting out custom-made quilt templates to be able to use it with our Brother Aveneer Intelligent Stitch Regulator. Welcome to AllBrands After Hours. I'm your host, Courtney Douthat. Let's do this. This was one of those things that I saw templates out there, and not all of them were acrylic. Now, I'm used to the acrylic templates like So Steady has where they're super thick, but there's currently not, at this time of recording, there's not a ruler foot for the Aveneer. I'm working on it, but there's not. So I can't use those, and I love those. Now, Courtney, yes you can. I've seen people put them on there. Yeah, they've used the ruler foot, but they haven't been able to use it with the Intelligent Stitch Regulator. And the Intelligent Stitch Regulator is fantastic. It keeps your stitches perfectly apart. So I don't want to give that up. I absolutely love using that on my Brother Aveneer. So I got to thinking, how can I make templates to be able to use that? Because my free motioning is awful. It's so bad. And then I thought about it. I cut out stencils all the time. Why can't I just cut a stencil out of my ScanNCut like I normally do, but a stencil of a free motion design that I could use like a friction pin, draw it on my fabric, bring it over to my Aveneer, and free motion on it with the Intelligent Stitch Regulator. Light bulb moment. Now, there's tons of different shapes in your machine, but there's not one that I'm currently thinking of. Now, one of my favorite free motion designs to do is a feather design, if you've ever seen that before. Absolutely love that, but there's not one exactly like that. There is a leaf pattern that I've kind of been using, but it doesn't have that curve. It's just very straight up and down. So I want to make a curve. So my thought is, yes, I could go online and probably find an outline of a feather design, print it out, scan it in if I wanted to. Or I could just draw my own because I could scan that in. So I started taking a pen and paper and I started just drawing that feather design. And I really like this one, and I really like this one. Again, I did it for quite a while, and I was having fun creating them. But again, there's so many shapes in your ScanNCut, but this is what I want. I want it to have a little curve. And I think this one's a little chunkier, and I really like that one, and that one was great. So what I'm going to do is, I could just take them and put a marker and make it darker, because yeah, your ScanNCut could read this black and white pen, but it would appreciate if it was a little chunkier. So I'm going to take a piece of paper, I put it over it. I can still see it through there, but I'm gonna take a black Sharpie here, open her on up, and I'm just gonna trace it. And then this way, my ScanNCut will be able to see it even better. So I like that one, we have her, and I like this one too that I made. Cute. All right, so now we've got two of them. I'm then gonna take my scanning mat. Now, I absolutely love my scanning mat. It's just so easy to take things, scan them in, and it's done. You could use any of your mats to scan, but I wouldn't want to put paper to a standard mat or a fabric mat because it might tear my paper, especially if it's a new mat. All right, so we've got our paper in there, and we're gonna go ahead and load it in our machine. And again, if you found one that you liked offline and you printed that out, you could just scan that print right into your machine the same way I'm doing. So let's hit scan. All right, then we select scan to cut data because I want to be able to bring this into my machine and hit start. So she's going to go ahead and she's going to feed it in. She's going to read exactly what's on my scan mat. Now, Courtney, why do you prefer the scan mat over one of your regular mats? Because I know that it's not going to pick up any gunk. If it's an old mat and I've cut out a bunch of things on it, it's not going to pick that up because it's clean. There's nothing that went on there. There's nothing sticky about it. There's no product on it. It's just paper that goes into the scan mat. So it's always clean. All right, so there's our design. I'm gonna go ahead. If there had been other things on my mat, I could scroll in to be able to take that away, but there's nothing else on there. So I'm gonna hit okay. All right, now it's gonna go ahead and recognize it. And it's gonna bring me to an area where it's gonna ask me, hey, do you want the inside and the outside or just the outside of this design? And for what I wanna do, I would just want the outside of my design. All right, so just the outside or inside and outside. But for me, just the outside. All right, everything looks great. I'm gonna go ahead and select okay. And where do we wanna save this to? I wanna save it to my machine. All right, there she goes. Now she's gonna bring you back to this menu in case you decide you do want the inside and outside, but I'm good. I'm gonna select home right here at the side. select OK, saying, hey, it's okay to delete that out. I'm done with it. And then be able to retrieve our data that we just created. We're going to go down here to the bottom to put retrieve data. And where are we going to retrieve it from? Well, where did we save it to? Our machine. Alrighty, now, Courtney, where's our design? We didn't design any of these, even though they were pretty cool. If you select the icon down here, all the way at the bottom with the double arrow, it's going to bring you all the way to the bottom of the page. If you select this one, it's only going to go down one part. So it's going to just go like this, which is the next icons that we have on there. But I want to go all the way to the bottom because I know at the bottom is where our saved design is that we did last. So I'm going to select this guy right here because that's our design we did. Everything looks great. Let's select OK. All right, now this is where we could change it, edit it, add multiple if we wanted to. So let's say I actually wanted to have the whole thing be the actual feather. I could arrange them, multiply them, rotate them to make a feather design and then cut that out, and then all I'd have to do is trace that. But I kind of like the idea of just being able to have one, and then that way no matter what my quilt is, say I need to get into a small area, I can kind of manipulate it. But that option is there if you want it. So I like them both, but I only have a little bit of stencil right here, and you could use anything, but I'm going to use stencil today to be able to do this. And it's just like a plastic. Honestly, you could use an old folder, like a plastic folder or something like that, and cut it out, and it would work exactly the same. So I'm going to hit Edit, Object Edit, and I'm going to select the rotation tool right here because I want to rotate this one 90 degrees, and I'm going to butt them up together. So that way I can cut it out of the same piece of material, and I can kind of flip it and rotate it if I ever want a bigger one or if I want a smaller one, and I only have to keep up with one piece of stencil. All right, so everything looks great for what I want, so I'm going to hit OK. OK again. OK again. It's like a triple OK. Please select Cut. And today to be able to cut this stencil out, I am using my black auto blade. She's kind of my multi-purpose blade. I absolutely love this blade. But for what we want to do, our black auto blade is going to do us just fine. We make sure half cut is off because half cut is when we're doing vinyl. All right, so I'm going to get my mat ready. Today I'm using a standard mat, and she has seen better days. So I have my stencil right here. I'm just going to leave it on here. All right, there we go. All right, so my stencil's on there. If you want to tape your stencil down, you absolutely can, but my mat is sticky, and I know she'll hold her down there just fine. All right, so we're gonna unload our scanning mat, love her, and we're gonna load in our standard mat with our stencil on there. All right, let's hit start. All right, so here she comes. She's gonna come over to our material and be able to cut that out. Nope, one done already. Fantastic. Now, it's going through a second time because it's like, this seems like a tough material. And I don't want to force my blade all the way through it. So I want to score just a little bit and then come down and score just a little bit again. It's fantastic. And it also does that when it's a really thick material. This isn't super thick, but she's just being cautious, and I appreciate that. All right, and she's done. Let's get her out of that machine. All right, how fast is that? All right, now you're like, wait, Courtney, it's still on there. It's stencil. Sometimes you just have to pop it out. Like, just a little bit. There we go. A little bit of pressure. Boop, and she pops out. Look at that. Now that I have a feather stencil. How cool is that? And you could make this out of tons of different things. Now, again, I drew this one, but you really could do sky's the limit of what template you want. Now, Courtney, how do you use this? We had the cut this thing out. What is this for? I'm glad you asked. So I have a piece of, let's say this is my quilt. And now usually I would do this probably once I've already quilted my top part, put my batting on it, which I have some batting here, and then my backing fabric. What I would do is I would take probably a little 505, because that's usually how I, baste my quilts. There you go, little 505 on both sides. Okay. Now this is the back of my fabric. And again, however you usually sandwich your quilt. But once you have your quilt sandwich ready, what is in my head to be able to do with these is I would love to be able to do the line. You know how they have like the little squiggle for the feather pattern? I have a friction pin here, and I love friction pins. And what friction pins are, they're actually erasable. Now there's different versions. There's water soluble friction pins, air soluble, or some that you actually have to erase. All right, so I have my quilt right here. Let's say this is my quilt. Yes, I've put 2 pieces of batting together. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have this right here, and I have my friction pin. So what I want to do is I usually would start a line, just not anything crazy, but I'll start a line, and then I'll take my template and trace. So let's go ahead, start a line. And you don't have to start a line if you don't want to, but I do feel like it does help me start off. There we go. Gorgeous. So there it is with my friction pin, which again comes off of fabric, so do not worry. All right, so I'm going to start with my template. I usually start this side. Now the nice thing is I can flip it around so I can get both sides. And again, I have 2 sides, but I do have a ScanNCut because I could have rotated, changed these sides, anything I want. So let's go ahead and I'm going to line it up here. Now your feather can look however you want. I like a little space in between my feather design. Go. So I'm just taking my friction pin and going in the inside of my template to create my first piece. All right, so I'm going to move up, put it where I want, and the nice thing is with the template, I can see where it is before I actually commit to drawing it on there. There we go. Now, and what this is doing, it's just giving me a really nice base to be able to quilt on top of. And again, it's so nice that I can kind of audition it beforehand. So say I don't like this and I decide, oh, okay, I'll just erase it with my friction pin. Then it goes away before I actually put it on my quilt and spend all that time quilting it. So I love this. We've gone up a good bit on this side, but now I want to work on the other side. So I'm just going to take my template and flip it. And that way, I now have this side that I can work with. Go. All right, there we go. And I can even add a little topper now if I want to, kind of freehand it. Cool. There we go. How cool is that? Now I've made a feather design. I can go back and change, fill in anywhere if I want to, and really just make it a really cool design. So let's bring this on over to my Aveneer and actually stitch it out. Alrighty, so I went ahead and plugged in my ISR into the back, kind of like how you do the Move It foot if you've ever had the Move It foot. So I'm going to select OK, and it's going to turn the settings on. Now, different things I can do with my intelligent stitch regulator. There is regular, intermediate, which means that it's going to stop sewing when I stop sewing. There's number 2, which is continuous, meaning it's going to keep sewing even if I stop. Or there's basting, which if I just want to baste my quilt. So very, very cool. But I kind of go to intermediate. It's kind of my go-to. And of course I could do a straight line or a zigzag. raise my foot, change my tension, anything that I want. But usually she's just good to go on her own. Alrighty, so I've gone ahead and I changed my background color to black. If you ever know, sometimes it's like a crazy rainbow Technicolor thing. That's because some for a reason the white does not want to show up right on camera, but I do prefer the white. But I did change my background to black. Now, Courtney, black? What in the world? I still see the blue. The projector is projecting black. I know, isn't that crazy? A little helpful hint if you ever shoot videos. So, if you notice, it's got my stitch line on there and my secondary line. I don't need them for this. I mean, technically it'd be kind of nice, but I really don't because I'm not doing a straight line. I'm literally going to be following the lines that I created. But I like that they have that. Of course, you can see my bar right here. That is my no man's land. There's a sensor in the ISR. It sits right there. And this is saying, hey, if you go past this with your fabric, it's going to stop sewing because the sensor needs some fabric underneath to actually know that it's okay to keep sewing. So I usually put a little bit of extra batting around my quilt when I am free motioning on it, just as a little bit of insurance. But I can turn these main and sub lines off because I don't need them. Alrighty, so we are good to go. All I have to do is drop my foot and start going. So this is where you decide, okay, well, where do I want to start? Do I want to start down here, which is usually what I would do, or do I want to start up there? No judging my stitches. Let's do this. So as I move, now that I've hit the green button right here, so green means go right there. Now that I've hit that, when I move, it starts stitching. And again, it's intelligent stitch regulator, so my stitches are going to be perfectly spaced. So I'm going to come up to my next one. Oh, I did a terrible job at that one. This is why I, one, need practice, and two, need a guide. Alright, and since I'm putting back down here, I can actually just go ahead and start on the other side. I love feathers. They're so easy. I say that. Don't look at my stitches. So I'm going to follow that line to get to the bottom of my other one, and then start doing that. Oh my goodness. Alright, so I didn't follow the template perfectly. A few times I jumped over, but if you look at the back, the back, you can't tell that. It just looks like a feather pattern, and I absolutely love it. This came out so good, and this is very addictive. Now again, friction pen is on this side of it, and so whenever, the lights always want to drown out. The friction side is on this side, so I think this one is an error one, so after a few minutes it will go away. But like, it's so good. So this is going to be my new obsession. Now that we understand the concept of it, let's dive deeper just a little bit. So I'm going to go back to my ScanNCut, hit OK, and I'm going to go back. Now, again, this one I did rotate, but let's say I wanted to edit this one, just toss it, and just have this one. I could go to Object Edit, multiply it. Let's do 10. Okay, now that I have the 10, I could just make my own. So like on my other one, I actually, placed it on there. Don't look at my stitches, but I placed it on there and then kind of freehand it. And you could absolutely do that, but if you didn't want to, you could just do it on your machine. So I'm gonna just real quick, take it, rotate, flip a few, which is just that button right there.
So for half of them, I'm just going to flip them to the other side, and it's just a click of a button, one button, and it automatically flips. And so I'm kind of sectioning those off, saying, okay, you're going to be this side of our feather, and the other one's going to be the other side. And then, of course, we want our topper here at the top, and so I've changed that one to be the topper. So I'm just stretching them out so I can see a little bit better what I have to work with. And does one need to go to the other side, or is it fine on there? And then I'm going to start lining them up next to each other. And I'm going to rotate them. Now the great thing about my ScanNCut is I can rotate 90 degrees, 10 degrees, or 1 degree at a time. So I can really precisely get what I want, really pinpoint what I want. Because I want the little tail end of these little feathers to kind of nestle in together. So to be able to do that and kind of really fine tune it is fantastic. Now I could sit here all day really going in depth of where I want them, and believe me, sometimes I do, just because I enjoy doing it. And this is kind of the fun part for me, is going in there with those detailed patterns, but not everyone likes to do that. So that's why I showed you just how to make the first one, just so you could do that. But for me, I know that I'm going to do this and actually make a big design, and then be able just to cut the whole thing out of a much larger piece of stencil, and then I have a big one that I have. And then of course I do have that one individual piece, so in case I need to add it again to an area, if I want to fill up a very small area that's kind of blank in my quilt, well then I have that option. But a lot of times I just want to make something large like this just to fill in a whole section if I want to. And I'm not just limited to feathers. There's so many different quilt designs that I want to be able to make, and make large designs like this, and it's fantastic.
There you go. How cool is that? And again, I could add another one at the top if I really wanted to finish it off. But then you could get your machine to cut this out. You can make your own templates. And again, it's not just feathers. There's so many out there that I've been seeing that I'm like, well, I want that. And I'm impatient. And I can't just cut it out. Again, you could just take an old plastic folder, cut it, put it on your ScanNCut mat. You create a template. You don't have to buy special template paper. Or, I don't know, plastic is what you would call it. You could do it yourself. So let me know down in the comments below. Are you going to make this? Are you going to try something? Is it going to be feathers, or is it going to be a different template? It's been on your mind for quite a while. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you don't follow us on our Facebook group, Brother ScanNCut with AllBrands After Hours is our Facebook group. Guys, you can post your pictures there and I can see them of your own creation. So definitely check that out. And by the time of this video recording, we would have announced AllBrands Academy. Woo! AllBrands Academy San Antonio is live right now. And if it's not, then this part of the video will not be in there. But it is live. Guys, we have Reen Wilcoxon from Embroidery Garden coming. I'm so excited. Sheila Ryan from Baby Moon. If you haven't seen her designs, they're fantastic. Her and Reen is coming. We've got Kim from Brother coming, and she is a wealth of knowledge. We've got Barbara Douthat. If you miss her, she will be there teaching. You've got Tammy Carson, who is fantastic. And you have little old me teaching at AllBrands Academy. So at the time of this video, we would have released 2 different locations. Courtney, what? Y'all usually only do San Antonio. Don't worry. For my friends in Lafayette, we have opened an AllBrands Academy. Now, the one in San Antonio is with all those educators. The one in Lafayette, you get me and you get Cindy Hogan. Guys, Cindy Hogan. Do you want to know how I learned ScanNCut? It was Cindy Hogan. I am ecstatic because she is going to be exhausted at the end of this because I have a billion questions for her every time I see her. So Cindy Hogan will be at the Lafayette AllBrands Academy. And for San Antonio, Reem Wilcoxon, Sheila Ryan, Courtney Douthat, Barbara Douthat, and Kim from Brother will all be there. So guys, both great events. So no matter which one you are located to, make sure you sign up. Sign-ups will be in the description down below. Go sign up. Go sign up before spots fill, because I have a funny feeling spots are going to fill very fast for both of them because we got some heavy hitters coming to this event and I'm excited. So make sure that you sign up for either one of those events, no matter which one you are located. And Courtney, I want you to come near me. Do not worry, guys. We're not done announcing them. Those are just the 2 that are ready. So make sure you sign up down below for AllBrands Academy to come hang out with us. And don't forget that all these items, the Brother ScanNCut, and tons of other items are available in our retail stores. We have 8 now, but also on our website, allbrands.com. And when you do purchase through us, you are supporting a family-owned business, small mom and pop, and we truly appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe because it's another easy way to let us know that you guys enjoy these videos and want more of them. Y'all have a good night. Bye, y'all. Let's do this. Yeah, I like it. All right. Got 505 on that. Now I have a feather stencil. Like feather stencil. We've gone up a good bit on this side. Ooh, move this.
I need to practice more because I am not a good driver. The poor machine, even when I mess up, the stitches are even. Are they straight? No, but that's a me problem, not a her problem.